So 2023 for me has been the year of Biagi and Amor. Out of all the tango that I've listened to, which is apart from being like in milongas or DJing myself or preparing for DJing, it's not something I do often. I don't listen to a lot of music in general. I don't listen to a lot of tango music, but when I do, it's been Biagi and Amor. So Biagi and Amor is like a phase of Biagi where the music becomes slow and romantic while it still retains like the danceable qualities of the golden age. So we see that towards the mid 40s, which is pretty much the end of the golden age of tango, which in my view lasts from 1935 to more or less 1945, 1946, 1947 maybe even, but that's pretty much the end. We see that Biagi with Amor and a few other singers. Um, they're like the bulk of this romantic, slower Biagi that is very danceable indeed. And of course, you also have the 50s music, and there are certainly tracks I like, but I also always argue that 50s music is just not as danceable as the Golden Age music. And you can decide for yourself whether that's true, but in general, the trend is that the music becomes more for listening and less for dancing. So it's been an interesting year as far as Biagi is concerned because I've always been a fan of Biagi and of dancing Biagi, and I always loved playing as a DJ. I love playing the really good Biagi from the late 30s, early 40s with the singers Ibanez, Falgas, and Ortiz. So I've always given preference to playing these tracks. So it's like either Ibanez and Falgas. I kind of mix those because they're quite similar, and there are not a lot of tracks. And then you have Ortiz, who has slightly more tracks, but not all of them are as classic. I do sometimes wonder why I never listened that much to Biagi with Amor before. I guess it's the voice. So there's some voices in tango I've never really liked before, but then I gradually grew to like them. This is definitely one of them, and now when I listen to this voice, when I listen to Amor, I think it's an incredibly skillful singer. So I think Biaggi in general, like all of his singers, have kind of yeah, maybe I'm not sure if screechy is the right word, but that they have very sharp voices, and one of them is even Acuna. I should make a video about that as well. He has even such a sharp voice that it's just not that popular in the milongas. But Biaggi with Amor, I think there are a lot of tracks, and there were a lot I hadn't heard before or hadn't really paid attention to, either one of these two. So there were some I definitely knew and that I also played occasionally, but it was not my type of Biaggi. And towards the end of 2022 and the whole of last year, all of last year, I I really listened to this more and more. I appreciated it more and more, and also start playing it in milongas. And I play it more as like romantical lyrical music than the classic Biaggi repertoire of the singers and the instrumentals. I forgot to mention the instrumentals earlier. I see it as as different DJing material, and I like playing it also later in the evening or the afternoon whenever I'm DJing. But yeah, I just found the last few months, I just found one playlist or one CD on Spotify when I was just doing chores and whatever, when I was making my bed, when I was doing the dishes, whatever. I just found a CD and I played a lot of songs that I hadn't heard before. And I even remember, like, I have even been, like, when I came back from other cities for tango, and sometimes I just decided to walk at night, to just walk for an hour, even 2 hours. And sometimes in all this silence, I would just put on some Biaggi and Amor, not even with headphones, but just out loud. Like, of course, a smartphone doesn't have a loud volume, but that's how I enjoyed it. And yeah, one song I want to look at today is called Seamos, amigos, which it means like let's be friends or let's just be friends, something like that. So this is a reference to what some people say after relationships: can we just be friends? Or maybe if you haven't had a relationship and like interested romantically, like, can we be friends? It's the eternal question that doesn't really seem to work for that many people. Maybe for some it does, that's great, but it's a bit like a love classic, I guess. In this case, in the lyrics, it's a bit of a manipulative lyric. So he comes back and he seems to want some recognition for the sorrow she gave him. So it's like he's saying it's better if we become friends than if I suffer like this all alone. Quite a typical tango lyric, particularly because it is not entirely clear why this relationship ended, whether it's his fault or her fault. And then actually in the unsung part he goes on to fully blame her. But yeah, that's just the tango drama you find always. So let's listen to this song to see what this style is like. So I already said like it's slow and romantic. So you'll notice that this is very lyrical, and even though it's still Biagi, you still hear a lot of rhythmical parts. Let's try to listen to like the very warm quality of these melodies. That's what I enjoy the most about it. Of course, I still like that it's Biagi and that you have these rhythmical little games everywhere. But it's not like the most typical Biagi we're used to, like the really like upbeat Biagi. It has a warmer romantic quality. This is very like beautiful slow melody lines. Rhythm. Now it's the melody again. This is rhythmical, but you could still call it like a melody of a piano. It's a bit of like the sad, kind of sad mood. The violence again. Mano de la cordialidad. Bandoneon. It's kind of I enjoy this so much. It's the same kind of strong melodic vibe this song has. So it's just like you can hear like a very very sad melody about, well, love that is no longer there or something like that. It's up to your imagination, but that's what I hear. The sadness of let's just be friends. Bandoneon. Still Biagi, so you hear the funny piano. With violin. Violin. Singer. Vengo dando que perdones. So he puts like a lot of one of the things I notice is that he's really well integrated with the music, and this is not always the case with all tango singers. He's really a part of, like, he's like an almost like another instrument, which is pretty much the one of the important parts of Golden Age music.
Buscando que perdones si fuiste la culpable o si lo he sido yo. Ni pretendo.
So you hear kind of the same kind of violin solos in the background, like. They're integrated together, the singing and the instrument. Bandoneon. Da, da, da. Violin again. Very melodic. And of course, for those who might criticize me to saying like, oh, this is actually very rhythmical music. Yeah, the background rhythm, doom, 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 it's still there, but that's also what it makes Golden Age music. So it's never becoming so melodic that there's no dance music anymore, and you get to choose what you dance on. You can choose on this background rhythm, or you can choose on a melody, choose a melody, or you can combine both, or you can change between them. You can change between the singer and the instrument that makes a solo. So a lot of choice. Pensando así en todo lo
quisiste, quizá para mi bien o por mi mal. Pienso que no es noble aborrecerte y que es más de hombre olvidar y perdonar.
This is very beautiful, like a Biagi thing. So what he says here is,
Pienso que no es noble aborrecerte y que es más de hombre olvidar y perdonar.
like it would be a more manly thing to do to forgive you and forget. So that's what he sings. Y es más de hombre olvidar y perdonar. And then listen to the reaction of the bandoneon.
Que no es noble aborrecerte y que es más de hombre olvidar y perdonar. Te quise
Very
como
typical of
nadie en
Biagi.
este mundo.
Like it's like a way of giving feeling to this song. It's like a dramatic little thing. Like these bandoneons are going really fast. Like they answer to what he's saying.
Y que es más de hombre olvidar y perdonar. Te quise como a nadie en este mundo.
I loved you like nobody else in this world.
Te amaba con la más leal pasión y tú clavaste un dardo en lo profundo del pobre y desdichado corazón.
So poor him. He was really loyal to her, but she still like she put like literally a dart, so something like a in his heart. So he was very loyal, but to no avail. Now you get this like typical Biagi rhythmical section. Again, this.
Te quise como a nadie
En este mundo.
Te amaba con la más leal pasión y tú clavaste un dardo en lo profundo del pobre y desdichado corazón.
So I absolutely love all the parts that make up this song. It's really beautiful.